This is so, y'all. Oh my gosh. This is so crazy. When I did this video, oh my gosh, y'all bear with me. Alicia, I'm looking like a grandma right now. Oh my gosh. I did this same video like literally the other day and it didn't let me turn it this way. Now it's being crazy. Lord. Y'all be hold on, y'all. Let me fix the orientation of the phone. YouTube does not want me to be great. Let's see. This whole time I've been here trying to figure this out, you would think by now I know how to do this. Oh my gosh, Lord. Thank y'all for y'all's patience. Oh my gosh. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Oh Lord, I think you can see me. Let me lock this. I wanted it to be this way, but for some reason it won't let me change the orientation. Like, hopefully that'll work. Let me see. Let's see. All right, let me close this. All right, I'm gonna put y'all up here so y'all can see something. Lord. Y'all, I thought I was doing something wrong. You look good though. Thanks, Sharon. I promise you, I had this. If I could show you this whole setup I have in my kitchen right now so that you can see everything. This is so frustrating. It shouldn't be looking like this. That's all right. That's all right. God's still in control. All right. Well, thank y'all for coming. I don't know. I was going to do one on Friday, right? But I decided to change my mind. Classic Shayla. I felt super inspired. I was talking to a friend and I was like, you know what? Let's do a takeout inspired plant-based dish. And I was showing her a picture of some tofu because I had gave her some before and it was all right, but I didn't do my best work. And I was showing her, hey, I got this really good crispy tofu that I do. And she was like, oh, that looks good. And I was like, you know what? Let me just do it today. Knock it out, make it fun. So I appreciate y'all for showing up. For those that don't know, this is gonna be a takeout inspired plant-based meal, okay? We're gonna do tofu, a crispy tofu. The inspiration is the sesame chicken. So we're doing a sesame tofu with mushroom and broccoli. So takeout style Chinese food, okay? So let's get into it. It's gonna be healthy, it's gonna be quick. So the whole reason I'm doing it live is to show you, you can do this in 30 minutes. Now, it might not last all the way 30 minutes for me because I'm talking, and because of little technical difficulties, but we're gonna make it work, all right? And if you're cooking with me, awesome. For those that came from my social media, I have a link, it should be in the description too, to my stand store that will, it's free, shows you the ingredients, and then later on, probably tomorrow, I'll send out the official recipe on my stand store. That'll get you on my email list so you can get all the content. All right, and if y'all have questions, throw them in the chat. I have another screen down here that lets me read things as we have little quiet spots. For those that came the first live, so basically the inspiration for this is actually Rachel Ray, because I used to grow up watching her 30-minute meals. And so now it's like, well, what would it look like if we did like a plant-based version of that? So first step, we're gonna just go right into it, the tofu, okay? Now, I know a lot of people nervous about tofu, scared about it. Listen, when I tried it for the first time 5 years ago, I made a mistake and I got the wrong kind. So let me show you the best kind to get, okay? It's extra firm tofu. I'm multitasking right now. I'm doing a YouTube video, so get extra firm tofu. I'm recording for a YouTube video, so that way I can give you the edited version of this, so you can watch it later on your TV. Okay, so don't feel like you gotta worry about it looking vertical this whole time. So the reason why I get extra firm is that, just like what it sounds like, that tofu is extra firm. It's not falling apart. It's not breaking apart. Typically, there's less water in this than like your firm or even your soft tofu. I know that there are some tofus. There's some tofus that they even call them super extra firm, and so there's pretty much no water in them. So those are super easy to use. I usually get those from Food Lion, so you don't have to go to like a special grocery store. You can go to a regular grocery store. All I'm doing right now is I'm taking paper towel and just wiping up a little bit of that excess water. You don't have to do that. I think it just helps the seasoning stick to it. The other reason I like to use extra firm is because there's not as much water. I don't have to worry about getting a tofu press, stuff like that. Because when you're cooking a weeknight, you're not trying to spend that much time prepping stuff, right? So the key for tofu, outside of the texture, people tell me that the flavor is not very good. And so what I say to that is, if you eat chicken and you don't put any seasoning, how's that flavor? Is that flavor good? I know how chicken tastes. Chicken tastes great when it's seasoned. And the same is true for tofu, for any dish, any vegetable, any protein. So all I just did there was I just cubed my tofu. It's going to make it easier for us to be able to see, or to be able to stick the seasonings. So I just cubed it, put it in little squares. Sometimes you can tear it too, that gives you more surface area. But so my whole point there is that you have to season it, right? Now, like any protein, the longer you season it or marinate it, the more that seasoning goes beyond the surface and gets deep. So what I usually do if I'm not doing a weeknight meal, what I'll do is I'll season this like 10 minutes before I'm actually planning on cooking. But we're not doing that today. We're going to make it like I just came home from work. I mean, I just came home from dropping my daughter off. She's over there watching TV. She already had her dinner. That's why she's quiet right now. So this is about half a teaspoon of sea salt, okay? Not table salt, sea salt. So I like sea salt because you can grab the grains like you saw me doing and have more control of how much salt I'm adding. You don't have to do this step if you are trying to monitor your sodium, because we're going to make a sauce that has salt in it, and that'll give a lot of flavor. But I like to do this just so some of that seasoning can get deeper into the tofu. So we're going to let this rest for about 5 minutes. I'm going to put that to the side. I don't know if you can tell, this pot is heating up while I'm doing this. So if you did this at home, you do the same thing. You'd have your pot on the stove heating up, and you start prepping your dishes. And clean as you go, right? My mom got on me about the last live because I was saying, oh, I'm still learning how to clean as you go. I didn't really learn that. And my mom was like, I taught you that. So if you watch this, mommy, you did teach me that. These are just some scallions. I love scallions. If you don't like onions, they don't have a very strong onion flavor. But the key with scallions is that there's two parts to it. So there's this really white part here. And when you think about that, this is the part that's the most like an onion, okay? And then there's a really dark green part. This is the part that's most like your garnish. So you don't want to cook this. This is more to make it look pretty, make it look snazzy. So I'm going to put that to the side. This is what we're going to cook with, okay? And we're going to do that when we might use some of it when we make our sauce. We might use some of it when we do our actual stir fry of our veggies. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm not sure how I want to do it. I might do half and half. So I'm just quickly slicing it into little rings. I have a lot of scallions. You don't have to use as much as me. I love onions, and I think they add a lot of good flavor. You can always save some of this for later. But again, you want to make sure you're only using the white and like the light green part of the scallion to cook, because that, like I said, is the more of the oniony kind of texture, whereas this lighter part is more for garnish. So we're going to put our scallions over to the side, because this is a big cutting board I have. So I'm going to just push that up. So that's the onion part. And then we're going to get to our garnish part. I usually just dress it up. So I try to line them up. I chop off the tops because they usually look kind of rough. I don't like how they look, so I don't choose to use that part. And then I just go ahead. You can do it one of two ways. You can slice just like I did the scallions, the onion part, or you can go more in a bias if you want it to look more like a restaurant. So you can kind of like, it's basically you would hold it like this, like on the cutting board, and almost like you're cutting straight up and down. You turn it a little bit to the side, and you chop, and you just slice it thin. And that'll give you like these little strips. You put that in cold water, and it'll curl up, and it makes it look super pretty. I'm actually do that to the side here. The alternative to that is to just chop it like I did the white and green parts. Again, this is weeknight meal, so you're probably not going to be caring about how pretty it looks. But what I always tell people, we eat with our eyes. So, yeah, Lily, we eat with our eyes. All that means is that before you ever taste it, yes, you chew it your mouth, Felicia, but before you ever taste it, you look at it first. You see it. You want it to look beautiful. So this pop of green will make your eyes go to it. And then you smell it, right? So we're going to use a lot of seasonings that make us think that, or help our body know, oh, this is going to taste really good. And then there's health benefits for that too. In a little bit, baby. Okay? All right, so I think that's all the big, oh, actually, it's not all the big chopping. Let me see. Do y'all have any questions? Let's see what questions y'all have asked so far. I use silken tofu to make Alfredo sauce, chocolate pudding, salad dressings, and whatever else that calls for something that has a milky looking consistency. That sounds good. Hope said, quick question. Some plant-based chefs freeze and defrost tofu before they cook it. Do you ever freeze yours? I never think in advance to freeze it. I'm gonna be honest. But I think I've done it one time. Shayla Felice, she's an amazing creator. That's where I first learned about that. She's actually on YouTube. So check her out if you were looking for a lot of amazing recipes. But yeah, I've done it with her, and then I shred it, and it tastes really good. But I never think to like take it out and freeze it. I don't know. Usually once I'm using it, once I open it, I use it then. So, but I do think that's an awesome idea. All right, so only 5 minutes of the tofu salting. So this is high heat oil, because we're not going to actually cook this tofu in the pot. What we're going to do is put it in the oven. So I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees, because again, it's a weeknight meal, right? So you're trying to do something that's a little hands off. Even though I did chop the scallions, that's optional because that's more for garnish. So what I'm seasoning my tofu with after salting it, this is just garlic powder. Now, I love garlic, so I'm going heavy-handed. It's not garlic salt, so there's no salt in this, so you can be as heavy-handed as you want to, okay? Garlic powder. I'm also going to use some onion powder here, okay? And again, no salt, so you can be as heavy-handed as you want to. My trio usually for seasoning is garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika, but I don't want to use any smoked paprika in this one because it'll change the color of the tofu. And then I'll put some avocado oil. The secret ingredient that's going to make this tofu crispy is not oil, even though we use oil. We're not going to fry it. I'm going to show you what the secret ingredient is. Corn starch. Now, when I first heard of this, I was like, that sounds crazy. You don't need a lot. A lot goes a long way. But what will happen once it's in the oven, you could do it on the stove, but when it's in the oven, I feel like it's easier. That's about 3 tablespoons that I sprinkle in there, roughly. So about 1/4 cup. When you do that, what happens is it'll create like a crispy exterior on the tofu while it's baking it. And so all I do, once I put my seasonings on, I just toss it lightly, okay? So it should look like this. You see that? You see the seasonings? You can barely see the white from the cornstarch anymore. So I'm seasoning. I seasoned it up. If you don't like garlic and onion powder, you can use whatever seasonings you want. You could just use salt and pepper. It doesn't have to be the ones that I use. But if I want it to be more of that Chinese style takeout vibe, this is what I do. All right. So our tofu is seasoned. Now what we're going to do is get our sheet pan ready. So what I do to make cleanup easier, move our knife, make sure we're safe. I'm going to use parchment paper, okay? And the reason for that is I'm going to put it on the sheet pan, so then once it cooks, I can just put the parchment paper in the trash and not worried about having to scrub down my sheet pan because so much oil or so much food has stuck to the bottom of it. Okay, I actually got this from Costco. It comes with 2 of these huge parchment paper rolls. I see your questions. Don't worry, I'm going to get to them, okay? Hey, and let me know in the chat where y'all coming from and what's your favorite takeout meal, either in the middle of the week or at the end of the week. Alright, so we're going to take our tofu and we're just going to do this right here. Going to put it to the side like that. Put it right into that sheet pan. Right? The main thing I would say on this part is you want to make sure your tofu is spread out. So you don't want them to all be touching, because if they're all touching, what happens is instead of you roasting the tofu and getting those crispy edges, you actually start to steam the tofu and get soft, it gets soggy. So I want to make sure everybody has their own space. So you want to make sure you use either make sure you use a big enough sheet pan or put less tofu on the sheet pan and use more than one sheet pan. This is a pretty big sheet pan, so I'm just going to move them all to the side. Go ahead and put this in the oven. Alright, and I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to set it to 12 minutes. And the reason I'm doing that is I want a reminder to help me remember to flip the tofu. Because once it's crispy on one side, I'm going to want to flip the other side, okay? Alright, now while that's happening, let's make our sauce. Alright, now I got this big old bowl. I should have got a smaller bowl. Let me use this small bowl here. All right. So for our sesame sauce, a couple of ingredients. Oh, in my fridge. It's kind of like, remember how Rachel Ray used to open up a fridge and be like, what's in my fridge? Well, we got that. We got some soy sauce, okay? This is low sodium soy sauce. If you're not using soy, you can also use coconut aminos here, okay? Or you could use liquid aminos. I prefer soy sauce in this case. And then what am I looking for? I'm looking for my rice vinegar. So we got some rice vinegar. Now this is optional, but it makes a huge difference. Sesame oil, okay? It's huge because it gives like a nice nutty taste, and it gives it a good finish. And then lastly, I'm gonna get two things. Some hot sauce. So it's just sriracha that I'm using. It's almost gone. And ketchup. Now, if you look at this label, all right, what do you see? What kind of ketchup is this? Is it regular ketchup? No. Because regular ketchup, they put a lot of sugar in there. And we're going to control how much sugar we put in that. So for me, I'm actually using maple syrup, okay? You don't have to use maple syrup. You could use coconut sugar. You could use white sugar. You could use honey. Sometimes I even use fruit. I'll use like the juice of an orange. I actually have some oranges in the back. But again, weeknight, you want it to be in and out, right? So the base of the sauce, this is the sesame sauce for the tofu, is going to be about 3 tablespoons of ketchup, okay? I know you're already like, what? Ketchup? What you talk about, girl? I thought the same thing, but it's the tomatoes. So tomatoes have this umami, which is basically like a savoriness. So you're trying to balance a sweet with a salty with a savory that makes the tofu or anything that you put it on just makes the flavor more pronounced. There's this book by Samin Nosrat called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. And she talks about how having salt, having fat, having acid, having heat combines all those things together to have amazing flavor. So anytime you use tomatoes, whether it's ketchup, fresh tomatoes, tomato paste, tomato sauce, it adds a nice umami-ness to food, especially when you're cooking plant-based and you're not using meat, because meat tends to have a lot of umami. We're not using meat, so we gotta figure out new ways to do that. Of course, we're gonna use the soy sauce. So I would say you want to have equal parts or maybe slightly more soy sauce than the ketchup. As you can see, I'm not measuring anything. This is all coming off the top of the dome. I don't need the coconut aminos because I have the soy sauce. And then just like a splash of rice vinegar, just a splash. Like that, like maybe 1 second. Now, in the restaurants, they'll chop up ginger and garlic. I'm just going to use some ginger powder here. A little bit of ginger. Or a lot, depending on how you like it. Okay. And then, where's my garlic? Let's get some garlic. Now, one thing I didn't say before, and why I chose tofu, because you could use any type of protein. I use tofu because it's a high protein source, especially if you're eating plant-based. And so for me, that's my protein source. Now, let's say you're like, listen, Shayla, or listen, Chef, what somebody called me in the last live, they said, Dr. Chef Shayla. No, listen, Dr. Chef Shayla, I hear you, it's supposed to be healthy. However, I'm not eating tofu. You could do the same thing with chickpeas if you're looking for a plant-based protein. I try to stay away from the faux meats, just because they tend to have a lot more salt. And they also have a lot more ingredients that I'm not as familiar with. So I'm trying to stick more with whole foods that make sense to me. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of the maple syrup. And the important thing with cooking, you want to taste as you go. Pinch of salt. And then I'm going to taste it and see where this sauce is at. Okay? Let's see where we at. I done did it again. Let me stop. Y'all gonna be like, girl, if you don't get off my phone. Alright, we're gonna put the sesame sauce to the side. Now, what you'll notice, the reason I use the ketchup also is because of it's very viscous, so it has a lot of thickness to it, which makes the sauce not just be watery. So it has a lot of body to it. You see that? If for some reason you did this, you like the flavor, but it was a little bit too thick, you can add a little bit of water to thin it out. If it was too thin, you can always add a little bit more of the ingredients to thicken it back up. Okay? So we'll put that to the side. what I'm making right now is a cornstarch slurry. So all that means is a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water, we'll stir it up. And what that'll do, it'll thicken our sauces for us. So when we get to a point where we're cooking, we add that and brings everything together. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water over to the side here. Let's see, give me a spoon or a fork. Actually, let's see. All right, so I'm just stirring this up. And you don't do this into the pan, because I made that mistake before of putting the cornstarch directly into the pan. Everything turns white or it gets too thick. When you do it this way, you have a lot more control. We might not need all of this cornstarch slurry, but it helps us have it already ready. That's the thing about cooking stuff like this, is things happen so fast. We want to have things already prepped out. All right, so our bat's cut, our scallions are there, our sauce is there. Now, one more sauce, okay? This is the sauce that's going to be for the veggies, all right? It's very similar to the sauce we just made. The only difference is that there won't be any ketchup. And the reason for that is this is not, it's a coconut aminos. This is not a sesame sauce. I'll get you some in a bit, baby. Remember what we talked about? This is soy sauce, okay? All right. Then a splash of rice vinegar. Okay. A little bit of sesame oil. Dot. Just a splash. And I don't know if you picked up that I say splash a lot. Okay. Pinch of salt. That's optional. Need my spoon. About a teaspoon of maple syrup. A little bit of garlic powder. Okay. So now we have our two sauces. We have our sesame sauce. And then we have, this is more basically like a regular soy-based sauce, okay? It's like almost like a sweet and sour kind of vibe. And this is what's going to go with our veggies that we're going to be stir frying very soon, okay? And we'll taste this one too. Great. Put that to the side. So our sauces are ready. Now here's the hardest step, okay? It's these mushrooms. Now I'm not using the super fancy, oyster mushrooms where you gotta like beat somebody up to be able to get it. I'm using your regular portobello, baby bella mushrooms. I got them from a regular grocery store. Just moving all this to the side so I don't knock anything down. And so what I'm gonna do is break it down to show you the number one thing you should not do when you have mushrooms is you don't want to run them underwater. And the reason for that is the mushrooms will absorb all that water. Then when you cook it, it'll release that water, and then the mushrooms are going to be super mushy, and you're not going to like it. It's not going to taste good. So what you do instead is you get a damp paper towel, like this, like so, and then you just wipe. First off, you break the stem. So let me do one that I haven't done yet. You take that stem that's right here, okay? You break that off. So this is trash. You take your paper towel, and you gently wipe away any debris that you might see. Put it in your bowl. Now, we're not going to do all those mushrooms. We're going to do probably about a quarter and go from there. While I'm doing that, I'm going to look and see what y'all, because I see a lot of comments. I want to make sure you're getting the love. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Sharon. Let's see. Tofu for the win. I love tofu. Okay, we got a tofu lover. Let's see. And I mentioned the alternative to tofu was the chickpeas. That's a really good one for protein. It doesn't have as much protein as tofu, but it's a good substitute, especially if you don't like that. If you don't like the texture, or if you're just not ready to try tofu, that's okay. You make it the way you want. Like that's one thing I've learned with plant-based eating is that everybody has their own path. So it doesn't have to look like how I'm doing it. You want to do something that makes sense for you, because it doesn't make sense to pick something that you're not going to stick with, and you only do it for a week. And then you're like, man, see, I didn't see any changes. The changes are only going to come when we stick to it over and over again, right? Like, it's not going to be something that happens because we're half-hearted in it. So you got to make it work for you. So if you don't like, I know some people don't like mushrooms. Don't use mushrooms. You could do this without the mushrooms. You could just stir-fry the veggies. Or if you still, like I said, if you don't want to do the tofu, or if you want to do completely different vegetables, do that. Make it your own, right? That's what I've had to learn, because I used to see recipes and think it has to be exactly like this, but it doesn't. You make it the way that works for you and your family and your body. Let's see, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, Queen Deborah. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's see, fajita chicken from the Gyro restaurant. Okay, or is it Gyro or Euro? I always say that wrong. So that's your favorite takeout? Okay. Let's see. I see there are a few ladies here with the name Sharon. My name is Sharon as well. I think that makes 3 of us. Wow, lots of Sharons. I know a lot of cool Sharons, so awesome. Let's see. Okay, yes, Chef Shayla. I'm watching from Tampa, Florida. All right, Sandra. Sandra! It's good to see you. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad you got to catch the live. Thank you for watching. Can I use arrowroot instead of cornstarch? Yes, you can, Hope. You can definitely use arrowroot. You don't have to use cornstarch. You can use flour, too. I just like cornstarch. It tends to get it crispier, and, you know, it's just easier for me to maneuver with it. Oh, so good to see you too. That's right. I love it. What are we making, Dave? Dave, we're making sesame tofu, crispy tofu, takeout style, and mushroom and broccoli. Now I should say, because this is real life, all right? I didn't go to the grocery store. Well, actually, that's not true. I went to the grocery store for mushrooms. That's what inspired me. But when I looked in my fridge, I forgot I don't have no broccoli. But then, all right, remember I was saying you don't have to follow a recipe completely? But then I looked in my freezer and I was like, wait a minute, I got some mixed vegetables. So I'm going to show you how to do it with mixed vegetables. There's broccoli in there. There's cauliflower in there. I think there's some carrots in there too. Then just to show you that any type of vegetable will do. All right, I think that's enough mushrooms for now. I can always do more later. Because I don't want you guys to be nervous and think you got to clean all these mushrooms. I'm doing this. A friend is going to come by later and have some of these. So I think she's going to like them. Because when she saw that picture, like that picture made her go, okay, I'm excited about that. Oh man, is anybody else cooking right now, or are y'all watching me? I gotta figure out a better setup. Can you guys see okay? Yeah, I spent so much time trying to set this up, and YouTube did not let me turn it the other way. I'm like, come on, YouTube, dang. Trying my hardest. My last live, I don't know if you guys got to check it. How many of y'all here got to see it? But it was one where I did the chickpea curry with sweet potatoes and coconut milk. It was very creamy, very delicious. Like one of my popular dishes I make when I cook for people in their homes. Because if you don't know, I am a doctor and I'm also a plant-based chef. And so I help people who are trying to turn around their health with cooking healthy but also flavorful plant-based meals. And that dish is a really popular one. But when I started the live, I had the phone all backwards. Someone who I work with called me Grandma Shayla because I didn't know how to maneuver the phone. Uh-oh, that's our tofu. It's been the halfway mark. So I'm going to go flip it, and then we're going to put another 12 minutes. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry. But that's the other reason why I love using timers, because timers help me not have to remember everything. So here's our tofu, okay? You see? I got my oven mitt on, okay? I'm just gonna take it, flip it over. Take it, flip it over. I can already see where it's crisping up. All right, put this back in the oven. We're gonna put it on there for 15 minutes. All right. So now, I only got 2 mushrooms left. I might as well just do the last 2. I don't know what I'm gonna save those 2 mushrooms for. Got my garbage bowl underneath here, a la Rachel Ray, just like how she used to do back in the day. This is cool. I feel like I have my own. No, I got my own cookie show, and I appreciate y'all being here. This is a lot of fun. All right. So, thing about mushrooms, we already talked about. We don't want to wet them, so we did that. Other thing about mushrooms is when you put it in the pan, the thing you do not want to do is add salt. If you add salt when you put them in the pan, what's going to happen? Again, like we talked about before, moisture. All that water. You can't tell, but there's a lot of water in the mushrooms. It's hard to see, but I promise you there is. That's why mushrooms get very mushy when people cook them, because they add a ton of salt, or maybe not a lot of salt. It could be a little bit of salt, but they add it before the mushrooms have let go of the water, and then it gets really mushy. So all I'm doing right here is I'm chopping up the mushrooms, I'm slicing it, and then I'm going to put it in my pan. I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. We want a high heat oil. We do not want to use olive oil because that's going to be too it's not going to be high enough temperature and it's going to burn. All right. And I'm cutting the mushrooms into thick pieces, okay? So it's not very thin. It's pretty thick because we want it to be something we can bite down on. Now, it seems like a lot because I decided to do this whole pack. You don't have to do as much as me. Honestly, if you really didn't care about how much of a bite it was, you could even do this in a food processor. But I digress. All right. There. One more. Like this. Now, one of the cool things about mushrooms too, they have a ton of immune benefits. So it helps with brain health too. And the main reason you see a lot of people eat them in plant-based eating is because they can have a texture that reminds people of meat. They do not taste like meat. I love mushrooms, but I'm not in denial. They do not taste like meat, okay? I know some people call them meat in the plant-based community, you know, to each his own. But I don't want to ever give somebody this and be like, this is just meat. And then they're like, what's wrong with this? Like, it's a mushroom, but it's going to taste delicious. And that's the other thing about the type of cooking that I do. I love to use whole foods so I can show how can we make this so that it's delicious and it's ingredients that are super normal, not super weird ingredients that you can't get at anywhere except, you know, your specialty food store, right? Because I think that could be intimidating for a lot of people. So you guys should be able to see the pan very good. Ooh, it's hot. All right. Even the handle is kind of hot. All right, so we're going to get our oil. Like this. It should shimmer. That's when you know that it's very hot, when it starts to do little ripples. And I'm going to just take a handful and put it right in. You should hear this. Can you hear that? It's very low. That means the oil is hot enough. If you put it in and nothing happens, your oil's not hot enough, go back. The reason why that's important is because then the mushrooms will absorb all that oil, all that fat. That's not what we want. We want the oil to help give a nice crust to the mushrooms. Okay? So I'm going to just lay them out so everybody has enough room. Like this. Because what we don't want, just like on the pan in the oven, what we don't want is for the mushrooms to be too crowded and then they start steaming instead of roasting. And then after you lay them down, you know what you do? You leave them alone. I'm not following my directions. I'm touching them too much, but I want to make sure everybody's broken up. And remember, we didn't add any salt. All right, while we let that do its thing, I'm going to add a little bit more oil because I can see it's a little bit dry. There you go. I'm going to look at some of these messages and see what y'all saying, what questions y'all got. Where we at? All right, I can see you, girl. I just got home from work. Okay, Sandra. I need help with making tofu crispy. Is that Dr. V? Hey, Dr. V, thanks for joining. That's why I did this, Dr. V, because you said, how do you make it crispy? I hope it come out right now. It's gonna look bad if it don't. I'm about to start cooking now. All right, Moet. So mad I missed the first one. It's okay, Auntie. It's on. I have it saved on my live, and there's a video that I edited that I think is better because you get a better visual. Well, of me, not of the food, but both of them are on my channel. Queen Devereaux making black beans, cheese, and brown rice quesadillas with sauteed spinach. Okay. Yes, we can hear the sizzle. Okay, good. Hello, Dina. Chef Shayla, have you seen the King of Mushroom, Derek? Of course. And the way he makes the variety look like meat. If you haven't, make sure you do. Yes, I love Chef Derek. He is amazing. I learned a lot of how to cook mushrooms better because of him. For those that don't know, Derek Sarno, he's a plant-based chef. He's got a YouTube channel too. It's phenomenal. But he talks a lot about how to use mushrooms in a way, to cook them in a way where they taste very flavorful. And he does a lot of like very approachable recipes. So I got a lot of inspiration from him. I like him a lot. A ton. Now, if y'all weren't watching, this would be the time where I'd be cleaning up, straightening up the kitchen. But I'm not going to do that because, I got guests, I got company. Let me know what questions y'all have about this, right? Because the whole point, we're having fun, we're cooking, but the whole point is that you can do this you could do this coming home from work. Now, I know we've been on here for longer than 30 minutes, but mind you, we had technical difficulties in the beginning. That's number one. Number two, right, I'm only using this cooktop. I'm not using the stove. So my stove has 4 aisles, so I would be moving around. And then when you're not talking a lot, things move a little bit quicker. We got about 10 minutes left on the tofu. The mushrooms are doing good. I'm going to get out my veggies from the freezer. Let's see. Wait a minute. Y'all, gonna believe this. The veggies have mushrooms in it. I didn't even need to cut the mushrooms. I didn't realize that. What's that a picture of right there? It's a mushroom. I didn't have to do it. Oh man, that's all right. But it's got broccoli, it's got sugar snap peas, green beans, carrots, yellow carrots, orange carrots, white mushrooms, red peppers, water chestnuts, and onions. So if you want to think of other ways you could do this with different vegetables, this will show you. So if, mind you, this is also going to decrease all that cutting. So if you're like, I don't know, Shayla, that was a lot of chopping that you did, get a frozen bag of vegetables. I tell people, frozen isn't worse than fresh. It actually, in a lot of cases, is better because they freeze it at its level of ripe. Well, not ripe. When it's freshly picked, they flash freeze it. And so technically, we're probably getting more nutrients when we eat frozen than we eat fresh, unless you're going directly to a farm where you know the farmer and you're getting it as soon as they pick it. Most of us are getting food that's been picked a while ago and then has to be delivered to the grocery store. All I'm doing right here is just flipping my mushrooms, and it's already getting nice and brown. I'm gonna show you. I'll show you one here. Let me get a fork. This fork here so you can see how brown it's gotten already. You see that? And the longer you let it go, the more crispy it'll get. We don't want it super crispy though, remember, because we're gonna toss this with our vegetables, right? So I'm gonna do a small batch when I'm on with y'all, and then when I get off, I'll do the rest of it. I feel like I see a question. Where can I purchase that cut? So that's a good question. My husband, it's a gift. My husband got this for me during COVID time, so I don't even know where he got this from. But it's a specialty cutting board. So in the front of it, it has my name and my husband's name. It says Shayla and Ralph in the front in cursive. It's very pretty. And I fussed at him when he got it. I was like, man, this cutting board is huge. Not realizing, oh, look at that. This is perfect for me cooking. I could chop and go to it and have to worry about bringing a cutting board. So he knew I was going to be doing this without me realizing it. He spoke into existence. But all that to say, I don't know where I got the cutting board from. Let's see. Yes, those are the stir-fry veggies from Costco. That's right. That's right. That's why I like them, because the mushrooms are... See, I wish I had read it. Reading is fundamental. I just briefly looked at the picture. I was like, okay, I see broccoli. If I had read it, I probably would have skipped that mushroom step, honestly. Because this is the longest part. All right, our mushrooms are good. Here is when you add a little pinch of salt. And now, when you add that salt, it's not going to lead to a lot of mush with your mushrooms. It's just going to actually season them. I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic because I love garlic in my Chinese food. Okay? I guess I should say Chinese inspired food. And the temperature of the pot is, I would say, medium high, because we're going to be, especially because I'm about to use these frozen vegetables, and they're going to be a little bit, they're going to be, what am I going to say? They have more water in them because of the freezing. Yes, baby.
Can I get the sunflower?
Can you what?
Sunflower?
I can't hear you, Booger. Well, I can't get that right now, Mama. All right, let's see.
I can just print them out.
Are you talking about the chips, babe? My daughter is talking to me right now. No, not right now, baby. When I finish, okay? So I'm putting the mushrooms right into the bowl because I don't want the water from the frozen vegetables to mess up our mushrooms to get super soft, right? So add a little bit of oil. It's probably about 2 tablespoons. One more. Okay, let that get a little hot. We're just gonna dump them right in. And you know what? If you really wanted to make this even easier, you could basically roast this. You don't even have to do this stuff. Let me break it up in here. You can get some chips from over there, Lily. All right, vegetables in. More. Maybe 2. Why not? It's veggies. We need our veggies. And it's made for stir fry. Yeah, frozen vegetables are a cheat code. They really are. All right. Clean it up, Booger. All right, kids, man, they know when to Honey, what's the hustle? Oh, Lord help me. All right, so I'm just stir fry. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit more so that way it can make the water evaporate. And remember, this is not we're not trying to get any browning on the vegetables. We want them just to be cooked through a little bit more, so then we can put the mushrooms back in, add the sauce, toss our tofu with sauce, be done. If you wanted it to be a complete, I shouldn't say complete, but if you wanted something that you tend to get at the Chinese restaurant, rice, you could always make rice in the Instapot. That's what I do. Because some days, for some reason, I cannot make, some days, not all days, I just cannot make rice. And I didn't want to take a chance on live. Let me taste one of these mushrooms. It's garlicky. It's not too salty. It's not too oily. Man. That's very good. That's very good. Dr. V knows. Dr. V and Sharon, they know they've had my mushrooms before, and my mushroom and broccoli before. Well, Sharon's had my mushroom and broccoli before, so they know they can and my auntie, she's on here, I think. They can be my backup in saying it's good. Hello from St. Lucia. Hi, is it Kara or is it Kay Rankin? Hey Kay. I keep a bag of those frozen vegetables from Costco in my freezer. Great time saver. Exactly, Monique. Do you ever use the pumpkin seed tofu? I haven't. Where do you get that from? Is it Dina or Dinah? That's a great idea. Now, so let me say that back. I have had the pumpkin. That's what they call it, right? I have had that. I've only had it a couple times. I didn't like I think it was the flavor that didn't sit well with me. I'm not sure what it was I didn't like. It's been a while since I had that. But I think that's a great substitute. If you don't want to use soy-based tofu, you can use, they have pumpkin seed. They also have, if I'm not mistaken, a hemp seed-based tofu. So you can make it whichever one you want. So if you can see, the veggies are cooking down. Now, a lot of this is, not a lot, but there is some water. So I'm trying to turn up the heat to cook off a lot of that water before I add back the mushrooms and then add our sauce in, okay? Let's see. All right, got our scallions, got that, we got our sauce. Tofu's almost done. What I'm looking at there, looking good.
I need a big bowl.
Okay. All right, here, let me get a bowl from, here, Mama. Here, Alicia. You can get that bowl, okay?
Okay.
What y'all eating for dinner right now? I know somebody already said they're doing the quesadilla. That sounds good. What else y'all doing? We're gonna have this sesame tofu and these mushroom and I said mushroom and broccoli, but mushroom and veggies real soon. I can't wait. This is literally gonna be my dinner. My daughter already ate, but I have not. I waited for y'all. I see. Oh, chickpea tofu. Now that's interesting. I've never even heard of that before. Wow. Where did you get that from? I mean, I'm sure I could Google it, but if you recommend any, Dinah, is it Dinah or Dina? I'm sorry. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Where did you get chickpea tofu from? That really does sound good. Turn this heat. Man, these veggies, they trying not to release. If you had a wok, that'd be perfect, because then you can get that really hot. Or a cast iron, that gets really hot too very quickly. This is stainless steel, so it takes a little bit longer for it to get hot. Once it does, though, it can absorb. It doesn't do the best job of absorbing the heat as much. You can use non-stick pan too. I'm using a soft rubber spatula. I don't have to because it's a stainless steel, but if I was using non-stick, that'd be important to make sure I don't scratch up anything. And I'm constantly moving. I don't know if you noticed that, because I don't want my veggies to get stuck. They won't, because there's so much water from them being frozen. But a lot of people don't know you can roast frozen veggies too. So I would do the same way I did the tofu. Add a little oil, put your favorite seasons on there. Boom, you're done. When people think of fiber, a lot of times they think, oh, I gotta take extra fiber. I gotta take Metamucil. This is natural fiber. The broccoli, the green beans, the peppers, the carrots. It's natural fiber that your body recognizes, so it's more likely to absorb it. And with fiber, the reason why it's so important, it helps lower your blood sugar, so that when you're eating a meal that has a lot of carbs in it, or a little bit of carbs, your blood sugar doesn't jump up so fast. It helps it slowly rise, and you not have a big woof of energy. And then it keeps your energy more stable, in addition to helping you be more regular. But fiber is super important, good for heart health. But yeah, don't think that you have to eat take a fiber supplement. Eating more plants like this can help you get that fiber. Let's see. I think the texture is where I want it. I'm gonna taste one of the broccolis to see what the texture is. Almost there. I'm gonna stop moving it. Let's see what y'all saying. Sprouts? Sprouts berries, chickpea tofu. I was just there. What aisle? I can just ask the people that work there. You don't work at Sprouts. I'll ask them. Do you like smoked tofu? I saw a chef on the show use it to make his take on bacon. I have not had smoked tofu, but it sounds good. Now, what I have done, I've made like a marinade, similar to what we did for the soy sauce one, but I use, let me show you. Now, this is a specialty ingredient, but liquid smoke, I've used that before, and that can add a nice smokiness to dishes. I use it for when I make my collard greens, because I'm not using meat to give that smokiness like my family did back in the day. I use liquid smoke for that, and I think that tastes pretty good. Would y'all want a live where I show maybe some of my favorite? It wouldn't be 30 minutes, probably a little bit longer, but some of my favorite Thanksgiving sides that are plant-based. I was thinking, now I already know some people on here ain't trying to have no vegan mac and cheese. I get it, but for those that may be interested in that, I also do collard greens. Those are two of my favorites that I do. Sandra say, yes! Okay, Sandra, at the very least, it'll be me and you doing it. All right, let me check the tofu, okay? Take it out. Make sure you get that mitten because this heat is hot. And this is how it's looking. Can you see how brown it is? That's the cornstarch. I'm gonna let it just sit in the oven while we finish, okay? I'm still here. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm here. All right, these vegetables. Oh yeah, they look good because I can see it starting to scorch. All right, I'm gonna turn it down. Back to medium. Okay. Now we're gonna add back our mushroom. Okay. We're gonna actually turn it down to low. So about a 3. Toss that here. We're gonna get our sauce. Get your sauce in your slurry. We're gonna pour our sauce right over. Okay. And we're gonna toss. You could even take it off the heat if you wanted to. If you could smell this right now, this is one reason why I love takeout from the Chinese restaurant, because they use the ginger and the garlic, and that smell is amazing. But it also has some amazing health benefits. They're anti-inflammatory. Oh my gosh, it gets such a pretty color. I'm gonna add a little bit of this starch, the cornstarch slurry, just thicken it up a little bit. Just a little bit. That. Stir it in. Wow. That looks great. Y'all, look at this. Come on. Come on. Tell me. Come on. Right? Wait. Oh, I didn't tell y'all. If you're watching on TV, can you take a picture and send it to me? So if you signed up on the description and the link that's in this video, that'll put you to my email list. And when I send out the email, you can reply to that with a picture. I'll send an email later, either today or tomorrow. You reply to that with a picture. That's the easiest way to get it to me, okay? I'd love a picture. If you are watching on TV, don't just take a picture of me, because I can see me. I want to see you and me, so you can be in front of the TV like this, like, whatever you want to do, okay? But look, I mean, it looks good. It looks great, actually. That looks better than good. Wow, but the smell, y'all. All right, I gotta stop. Okay, chill out. All right, I'm gonna put this to the side. Let's get our tofu. Tofu's right here. It's hot. It's extremely hot. I'm gonna get a bowl like this. Now, if I was at my table, what I would do is, not my table, my counter, it would be a lot easier, but I want y'all to see what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna take my tofu. Ooh, almost left my tofu. I'm gonna just put all of it in this bowl here. You can hear when I don't know if you can hear when it, even when it drops. Here, let me show you how crispy it is. It's hot though. I'm trying to get close. Hot. I can't get close. It's too hot. It just came out the oven, right, Lily? I should let it cool down. But it has a crispiness on the top of it, almost like I had fried it. But I did not fry it. We put it in the oven. All right. That. Okay. Move this to the side. All right. This is off. This is off now. So we don't have to worry about hurting ourselves. Got our sauce. Remember that sesame sauce we already made? Look at that brown, right? This is what's going to give us the magic. That's barely hot. I'm just going to pour it right over the top of our tofu. Like so, like that. Thank you, Miss Tabitha Brown. Okay. And then we're just going to toss it so everybody gets a little love. Like this. And remember, because we use the ketchup, it's already a nice thick sauce, so we don't have to use any cornstarch slurry. Now, one thing I didn't do, y'all, we're making sesame chicken. Excuse me, sesame tofu. What am I talking about? We're making sesame tofu, and where are my sesame seeds? They should be here. Let me see if I can find them real fast. So I know where they are. They're actually in my cookware in my my chef bag. But instead of going off screen, I'm gonna show you the substitute if you don't have sesame seeds. It's not traditional, okay? But you could use the everything but bagel seasoning, because it's basically sesame seeds. Now, I would not do this for a client. I would use actual sesame seeds. I honestly want to go off. Should I just go get the sesame seeds? Let me just get the set. They're literally right there. Give me 10 seconds. I know this is blasphemy. I'm not supposed to do this. So I'm coming back. Alright, got it. You're probably like, where'd she go? This is what I was looking for, my sesame seeds. Oh man. So what I'm gonna do, if I can open it. Come on now. Come on, sesame seeds. Lily, turn that down some, please. Alright. I'm just gonna pour it right over the top. Now I know some people will actually put the sesame seeds in the sauce. I don't like doing it like that. I feel like the sesame seeds fall to the bottom of the sauce and they don't really cover the tofu the way I want it to. Okay. Do that. Now let's plate. This is the best. This is the most important part in my opinion. So clear everything out the way so I don't have an accident. That's the last thing we want. Y'all, I chopped up the onions. I didn't even use them. So there you go. You don't have to use the onions. Remember the scallions we chopped up at the beginning? I didn't even use them. Partly because I forgot. So here's what we do. The base is going to be the veggies. So I'm going to just scoop it right in the middle. Make almost like a bed for the tofu to lay in. Then we take our spoon and very carefully we're going to put it right in the middle. Height helps anytime you're presenting. So like if you're doing this for someone else, height helps. Okay. Like that. And then I'm gonna clean my bowl presentation. Like that. And then we get the garnish, which was our scallions we cut already. And I just kind of do it like that. Make it look pretty. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more sesame seeds just so I can make. Oh, I forgot I used the big one. Lord, it's a lot of sesame seed on there, but you get the point. And here we go. Got a fork here. All right, somebody please take a picture of this. Come on. Plant-based? Come on. Who coming over? Who's coming over right now? I don't hear nobody knocking on the door. Who coming? Let me see who says something. Wow, that looks so good. All right, Sandra, you get the plate. Audrey, sprinkle the scallions on top. Yes, so I had the white part of the scallions that I forgot to cook. That I was gonna cook with the veggies. But you're right, we could use either part. Sandra said me. Okay, let me see. So let's take a bite, right? All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna be honest. I am biased because it's my cooking. When I tell you, man, when I tell you, ooh, I'm speechless. This is a lot for me. My favorite part is the broccoli. Even though it's frozen, it still tastes fresh. And so I didn't cook it where it's super soft and mushy. It still has a bite to it. So you get that crunch from the broccoli. The sauce comes through. And then that tofu, the flavor from the sesame sauce. I legit feel like my husband just came home with Chinese food that happens to be plant-based. And I'm enjoying it. And I don't feel guilty because I know what's in it. I know how much of what is in it. I think my friend's gonna love this. Oh my gosh. Man, this hit the spot. Come on, what?
Mom, can I have my...
This, like, come on, who's gonna do it? Takeout could never. Oh my goodness. Rice would be good with that too. Yes, Audrey. It would be. I mean, it would be phenomenal with it.
Andre, really?
It would be. I can't even stop eating it. Let me just take one more bite.
Can I get my snacks now?
So good. I'm gonna make sure I write out the recipe for y'all. Yes, babe. I'm almost done. You can get it, okay? Go finish watching TV, okay? I'm almost done.
Climb down,
Oh my gosh.
please.
Oh my gosh. God is good. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm down for this. Okay, Auntie. Now listen, Auntie, I know the New Yorker in you. You're gonna tell the truth. So I appreciate you for saying that. It's so good. I promise y'all, I'm gonna send out the recipe. I promise. Okay, I'm not gonna take no more bites because it's not nice for me to be eating and I'm not sharing. I'm gonna just leave it here. This is fun. Ooh, noodles would be a good idea too. Noodles would be a great idea. I'm trying to think of other things. Even, watch this. Okay. Technically, if you want to make like a warm salad, you can put this on top. I know. No one wants to talk about salad in the middle of fall when it's getting colder. But if you're trying to get more greens, or you can just put more of the vegetable base on top. But I'm telling, it's the combination that works so good together, guys. And I know it took a while, okay? But this truly is a 30-minute dish, especially if you're using frozen vegetables the whole way through, right? If you're not cutting up, I cut up a ton of mushrooms that we didn't even need, okay? And I wanted to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing as I'm doing it, to help you know it's not just do these steps, don't ask questions, but this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing that. So I think that part, adds to the time. But I love this. Should we do more of this? This is the second one. I want to keep it going. I got to figure out a cadence of how to do it, but I know I said, if my friend is watching, she probably gonna be heading over soon. Before I eat all of it. It's so good. Someone said, I make my Chinese takeout, my own Vietnamese takeout, my own vegan veggie sushi, and it tastes so good. I forgot I do to make my own ramen bowls. Delish. That's awesome. I think the other thing is when you make it yourself and you see how much effort it takes, the flavors just taste so much better. Yes, do more. All right, Deborah. I will. I love you, Chef Shayla. Get those sesame seeds. Thanks, Dr. V. I'll do more, Lynn. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Sharon. Absolutely. Keep the coming. Okay, Auntie, I got it. Dang, I missed your show. Gotta watch. Yeah, watch the replay, Sharon. Watch the replay. I actually was inspired by you with your fried rice, so watch the replay, okay? All right, well, I'm going to go eat the rest of this. I'm going to put aside some for my friend before I eat it all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, not to just to the channel, but also get on that email list in the description. So when I send out the recipe, you get the full recipe and you guys can do it too. And send me those pictures. When I send out the email, reply so I can see the pictures of the food and you and me on the TV with you there too, okay? We can make it a whole thing. Love you guys. Thank y'all for joining. Have a great night. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.